Right, so here we go with fret leveling this PRS Mark Holcomb SE. And I've let the guitar stand on the neck rest or the neck jig for 24 hours before I've attempted the work, because I wanted the neck to settle when I'd altered the truss rod, and just make sure everything's absolutely straight, which it is. The neck is perfectly straight. We've got the zero dials zeroed out here, so if we get any movement at all, these dials will tell us. And I'm going to go across with the fret rocker again on the 12 or 11 or 12 frets I've marked, just to show that they are rocking. Not for anyone's benefit in particular. I mean, in the past people have said on my YouTube channel, how do we know it's perfectly straight? You know, you didn't show us that bit. Well, the reason I didn't show anything is I didn't think I had to show anything, because I thought people would believe my word, you know, and that would be it. But some people don't. And this is not for Nathan or anyone, the owner of his guitar, because I know Nathan absolutely trusts me implicitly, but I'm just going to go across with fret rocker on all of the frets just to show where we are. And with the camera being closer, you might actually hear each one rocking. One, two. This should not be rocking anywhere else. It's rocking there a bit as well. It'll all get filed down. Next one is number 6, I believe. There you go. Next one's number 8. Next one's number 10. I've not checked this before I put the camera on. I've just got camera on and that's it. So there you go. So that's so far 1, 2, there's that bit there to mark off, 3, 4, 5, that's 6 rockers. Then we go to fret number 12, rocking, fret 14, so that is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got fret 16, I believe, no, 15, 17 should I say. Surely you can hear that. 18, 19 is fine, 20 is fine, 21. Listen. That's it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 frets high. We need a complete fret level just to show again that the neck is absolutely straight, because it's disconcerting and upsetting to not be taken at your word, you know, especially when, I mean, might not mean a lot to many people. I'm a Christian, I'm a born again believer. I believe in Jesus Christ, I believe in the word of God, and I don't lie. It doesn't benefit me to lie at all, and I don't like lies and I don't like liars, but I always like to be taken at my word, because my word means a lot to me, my reputation means a lot to me. So anyway, I've shown that the 11 frets do need leveling. It's fantastic. I'm going to secure this end of the guitar. It's perfectly level. We've got the dials zeroed out. You can't see that one, but you can see this one is zeroed out. The neck is absolutely straight. Now I've got it absolutely straight, we are braced in and onto the jig. The guitar is not going to move at all. If it does move, these dials will tell us. I'm going to now get the fingerboard all taped up, ready for leveling the frets. The camera may move a little bit here and there between when I'm doing the work. I'm not doing the work tonight, I've had today off. I will start work on this tomorrow being Saturday. And I'm not saying I'm going to get it finished tomorrow, but you know, I'm going to plod along tomorrow. I've got a new client coming, or he's driving up from Northampton. So again, fantastic news for me. But anyway, I'll get this all taped up and I'll come back tomorrow and we'll crack on. So before I do this fret level, just wanted to show how I set my leveling beam, and I need to put new sandpaper on there. And what I do is I first go across the whole length with a layer of masking tape, regular 1-inch masking tape. Once that's done, I fold it inside and underneath, so it's got quite a bit of this. I can peel it back out later. Then I use double-sided sticky tape, whole length of that. And here are pre-cut strips of sandpaper I use. And I've got some 400 grit there for one side, and I've got some 240 grit there for the other side. And now the important part is I have to cut into this double-sided sticky tape without cutting all the way through it, because I don't want to be creating any bubbles or lines. And basically just get a knife, in you go, and that is pretty good. We've done it straight away. We've got straight in there, and all we do is peel it off. Peel it off. If we've got any bubbled up anywhere, sometimes we do have a little bit, we'll just flatten it out like so, and that's it. We can go. I'm going to put the 240 on first. Really easy, and just follow the tape. And that's basically it. Press down. And we're just going to tuck these ends in. And that's it. That's one side done. That's a 240 grit. 240 grit is what we use to take the main amount of material off. 400 grit is what we do for smoothing off, nice and level. Let's just go with that. There you go. Now I'm going to go with a 400 grit. There you go. And that's it. That is the levelling beam, all papered up, ready to use. Like I say, I'll go over with 240 grit first, get all the frets level. Once they are level, I'll cover the frets in pen again, and I'll smooth it off and remove as much of the scratching as I can with the 400 grit. Then we can move on to recrowning. So guys, I have levelled the frets, been across with the 240 grit. Let's just turn that. Been across with a 240 grit, we've got them all nice and level. Just going to whiz across with the fret rocker. Just so you can see where we are. I've actually already done this. The material that's been removed does leave. I've just now done that one. Dark bits, you see it, always gubbins. Just going to brush this off. Actually, I'm going to get these frets done first. Just get these all checked. Then I've not gone over with the 400 grit yet, so I'm going to pen all of the frets once I've removed this dust. I know we're all level. I just like to get everything on camera. I wasn't going to work today, but I had a guy bring me a Gibson 335 in. He's drove up from Northampton, past 60 mile, and he's bought that in today, so I thought, it being in the workshop, I might as well get something done. So I've started on this. I've got to go, I'm going out this afternoon. I've got to go to Coventry, pick up a new electric cooker, because our oven on our electric cooker blew up last night, or the element went, and I thought, well, it's old anyway, we'll get a new one. So I've had a new one. So I've got to pick it up from Coventry today. Anyway, I'm going to sweep off all this gubbins. So that is all of the frets level. What I'm going to do now is, when I find it, here's my marker pen. Pen all of the frets again. Now you see we put scratches in this way with 240 grit, and I want to reduce them scratches a little and smooth the top of the frets, make it easier for when I'm crowning and polishing later. It means you'll polish up a little bit better. But as you can see, we've flattened all of the frets. They're all going to need to be recrowned and polished up, remove all the scratches. I'm going to let that just dry just for a second. And I can now go across with the 400 grit, which is a smoother paper. It's going to reduce the scratching in the top and keeping, well, obviously making sure the frets are all level. You should remove pen off all of the frets. And you might think, you'll get to this area, and that's all done. You get to this area and think, oh, there's a lot been removed from me. It's not that there's been a lot removed from me, it's that there's a flap on the paper look sticking up, and it's brushing the bottom of the sandpaper, and it's catching all the dust. So there we go. We are all level. You see all the dust flying off there. One final time. Fret rocker. We now have these frets level and we are ready for re-crowning and polishing now. I've explained many times on previous videos how we go about crowning. I'm going to remove this guitar from the neck jig. I'm going to move it onto the other table, onto the setup table, and I will do the crowning over there. I'm not going to film any of the crowning because you know how it's done. I've just done a PRS this week, so if you flick back a video or two you will see how I crown frets. I will, however, come and give a progress report during the re-crowning process and during the polishing process. So for now, that is it. So make sure you tune in later and let's see how we get on. Welcome back, guys. We have moved over to my regular setup bench and I'm going to re-crown these frets, and you'll see I have my files lined up here. I have a marker pen to mark all of the frets. I have a rag to clean the file every time I do a new fret. So I don't really need to explain what I'm doing because I've explained it many times before, but I will, just for the purpose of this video, I will do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a marker pen and mark the tops of all of the frets, and I'm going to take a 3-cornered file and I'm going to make this black line on the top of these frets as thin as possible. Basically what I've done is I've flattened the frets and I need to put the crown back in. Now if you're running this way, the cross section coming from this angle over to there gives you a flat fret, and I want that way. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use my favourite hand file to do this. It's a 3-edge file, it's got ground edges so we don't dig into the fingerboard. I tape up anyway, but that's what I'm going to use. I use a method of not just cutting across the fret, I also roll the file over each side so we form that curve until we get the crown that we want. Once that's done, I will finish it with the correct file matching that curve, just so we remove any extra burrs we have on there. Once that's done, I will move the guitar over to a polishing table and I'll polish these frets using 5 or 6 different grits of sandpaper, normally 5. I normally start with anything around about 800 to 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000 and maybe even 2500 grits. Gives me 6 grits and I'll do final polishing with some of the finest grade steel wool. It's a process I've done many times before. I have many videos on that, but I'm not going to show any of this work because I show it so many times, and I don't really have time today to be making too much video because I want to crack on, because I want this one done for lunchtime. So I'm going to crack on. I may come back and give you a little update later on, either during this process, this re-crowning process, or lightly during the polishing process. So I'm going to crack on. I'm back soon. To zoom in just a little, I'm just coming to the end of crowning these frets. I don't know if you can see where you are, but there's just a thin bead of pen down each one. And when I'm finishing off, I've already re-crowned frets using this file, and I'm just finishing off with this, and you'll see little flakes or little bits of dust because I finish off, I use a 2.5mm side, and basically I'm just going to go, you see the cut in there, this is already cut, curved, and I'm just going over just to remove any burrs, and that's basically all I do on each fret. Always wipe the file every single time, every single fret, always wipe and clean, and you'll see little dust particles, which is the shavings of the fret. And all this is doing is just removing those burrs on the edge, but leaving that thin line across the top intact, because it can't hit that line. So we're not removing any height from the frets, we're just removing little bits from the edge, just to get that beautiful curve. Now the curve is uniform across all of the frets. We have a perfect semicircular dome on the edge of each fret, which we cut on the bevel just here. That's how we know we've got that beautiful curve all the way along. Got that curve that way going along the whole fret. So that is now done. I'm now ready for polishing. So I'm going to move the guitar from this table, take it over to the polishing table, and I'm going to get myself various grits of sandpaper, and I am going to commence with the polishing. I will show you a little bit of the polishing again toward the end, and then we can crack on with getting the nuts on and getting the guitar set up. Right guys, we are on the polishing bench, and I have more or less done the polishing. I've been across with 6 different grits of paper. Started with 800 through to, that's the wrong place, 1200, 1500, 2000, 2500, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000, 2500. Okay, they don't look really that well polished, but take my word for it, they are. Polish is not just about shine, it's also about removing scratches. And all I've got to do now is, easy part, I'll just go up the edge, just get all the bevel cleaned up on both sides. The edges of each fret are nice and smooth, and it's just a matter of, this doesn't take long, this part. Sandpapering takes a long time, but this doesn't. Just go straight over the top, and you get into the corners each side. Blah 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 blah, and again over the top, and that's that one done. And that one looks amazing. Looks like a brand new fret. Well, they are brand new frets. That's the thing. Again, they're quite dull. They've almost got a satin-like finish until you get in with the steel wool, and this really brings out that shine. I don't use any polish. I don't use any chemicals whatsoever when I polish, just elbow grease, that's it. And there you go, there's 2 done already, and that's fantastic. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest done. I'm not going to lollygag today, or lollygag, whatever the word is, because I need to get a nut fitted, and this nut shelf here is not exactly flat, because when I took the other nut out it ripped some wood away with it, as PRSs always do. They are an absolute pain. You shouldn't have to put a new nut on the metal. It's a brand new guitar. I certainly should not be having to do a fret level on a 2-month-old guitar. You know, I'd have been in at PRS for this. So I just had to have my bloody guitar fret leveled. And there you go, there's 3 done. And it's just a little bit of effort, get right in there. And there's 4 done, and they look stand out black and white. They stand out really nicely. So I'm going to crack on, I'm going to get them done, then we'll come back and get the nuts sorted out. So, frets done, polished. I haven't done the fingerboard yet, but that's the frets finished. I'm sure this camera's playing up. Anyway, there you go. Look absolutely fantastic. I don't bring it too close because we'll go out of focus. That's about as close as I can get it. Highly polished. They've had 6 grits of sandpaper and some of the finest, well, the finest grade wire wool to bring them to a nice polish. They're all perfectly level. Absolutely beautiful. It will bring the guitar alive, but you shouldn't need to do this on a brand new guitar. So what have we got to do next? Well, I'm going to fit a nut, and the problem with the nut is when I remove the old one, you saw I removed the old one. Never easy on these things. They use too much glue and the nuts are crap, they need changing. But anyway, when I removed it, it took some wood out of that shelf, so I've got to repair that now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix up a little bit of epoxy. I'm just going to drop it in there just to make that shelf nice and flat. I don't really like filing nutshells because no matter how flat you think you're going with a file, you're actually going over like that because you're trying to keep it straight, and when your arm moves you're not keeping it perpendicular. So it can be a bit tricky, so I'm going to hopefully not overfill those slots with epoxy. I'm going to mix up a little bit of this stuff. I don't need a lot. I wish I didn't have to do this, but it's got to be done, otherwise the nut's going to sound hollow. And I'm going to attack the nut from the top. I'm not going to sand off anything off the bottom. I'm going to reshape the nut once it's on the guitar. Just makes it a lot easier to do that. Again, you've got to be really careful with your files, but I find it's the best way. It's the way I've always done it. So, puts a bit of extra time on it. He's not coming for it at lunchtime now. I've talked to him. He's going to come tonight after work, which makes it a lot better for me because he wants to look at a couple of my pedals as well. And I can get I'm going to get my my valve amp out, my Black Star, and we'll line up some pedals and we'll have a little test. And yeah, that's going to work. So, crack on with this nut. I've got to go and find it first. I think it's in the guitar bag. I hope it is. It better be. Oh dear. So you won't see this, but I do have a spirit level. You can just see it. I have a spirit level on my guitar to make sure it's perfectly horizontal both ways, along the length and along the width, because I'm going to be dropping some glue in this area. Now, those keen-eyed amongst you will see a big strand of glue right there in that corner, and that is how much glue we put on these things, and it's too much. I don't know why they do it, and I'm going to remove a little bit of that. What I want to do is and that really is not so bad, but I can feel inside here there's a big ding inside there. It really is quite not very nice at all. So I'm going to mix up some epoxy. It's a 30-minute setting epoxy, this one, so I've got plenty of time to manipulate it where I need it. I'm just going to tape up the area I need to glue. Now, I don't want any glue on this far end. Shouldn't get any there anyway, but I'm going to basically just tape in there, which is fine. Bring that back, bring that over, bring that over, bring that down out of the way. And I'm going to tape up just these areas just beneath the edge here. In case I get any spill out. I'm probably not going to get any spill out. I'm pretty good with this. That's not as straight as I want it. Again, something I've not charged for this. I've charged for putting the nut on. But some little extra work I'm doing, you know, these are the unchargeables. So that area is now free to use. Now I shouldn't get any over here because I shouldn't need to go that far, but it's always best to be safe. Oh, I've still got a piece of tape on there. Actually, I can use this piece of tape I've left on. I thought I had. On the far side. It's all about getting everything prepped. You don't want to be spilling glue anywhere and everywhere. You know what you want is keep it all clean. It's a brand new guitar. End of the day, and all I'm going to do there is just bring that up right up to that edge there. That's good. Same again this side. And that's it, we're good. So we now have the area we need to be putting glue is right here. I'm going to mix up some epoxy and then I shall come. I might even drop a little bit of rosewood dust in there just to make it the right colour. Then again, you know what? No, I ain't. Come back in a second or two and we'll have this all done. So I've mixed up some epoxy and I'm just going to drop some in. Probably going to leave it just a little bit proud, and I'm going to file it once it's dry. It'll give me a nice shelf. And the reason I'm doing this and not sticking the nut straight on with the epoxy is I don't want the nut to be glued on all across the whole base and never be able to get it off again, because in case it does need to come off in the future, you never know, this might need a refret somewhere down the line in a few years. And I've mixed up far too much epoxy, by the way. I've kind of done that on purpose. Well, I haven't, but there you go. And all I'm going to do with this is just drop it and I'll let it settle. I don't want to put far too much epoxy there. Look at that. Stupid amount. I've got nothing else to glue, but that's okay. It's not uber expensive. So I'm going to just spread this about. There's too much on there anyway, look at that. But I just need it to just fill those holes, keep us a nice and firm base. I want it slightly proud so I can file it flat for the new nut. And if it's, by filing it flat, it's not going to be perfectly flat, but it will give the new nut something to adhere to. It's already spilled over. That's why we put down this tape. I could have done with the 5-minute stuff, to be honest with you, on here, but it's 30 minutes, so I've got no choice. I've got to just put up with it. Far too much on there, which is kind of good. And that looks pretty good. All I've got to do now really is wait 30 minutes. Remove all that from there. Excellent. That looks pretty good. So that's it. I'm going to wait 30 minutes, come back, file it flat, remove all the tape, and we'll get the new nut on there. All the work I'm going to do on the nut, I will do while it's on the guitar with the strings on. The slots, it's pre-slotted. If you just bear with me a second, I'll try and find the nut. Should be in the guitar case. But with me, anything is possible. I know what it is, it'll be in its pot. And I have something, I found something to stick, use this glue for as well. Realise I need to put a logo, Marshall logo, on a cab, and I've bought one. So there you go. That's a nut we're going with. It's there. I could stick that on just now, but I don't want to. I'm not gonna. That's perfect. It's pre-slotted. It's a Craft Tech nut, probably too close for you now. What I will do is I will reshape the top of the nut once it is on the guitar. So that's it. We're back with an update shortly. And here we are. After the epoxy has dried, I just took a marker pen, just marked the edges where the binding is here, just so when I filed it down I knew where I was. Once I'd cut into the pen, I took a completely flat, in fact this is my best file, it's my number 4 cut file, Swiss made. It's got a safe edge there, and all we're doing is we're just gently just taking it across the top, keeping it level. Not quite into the pen this side. Just getting into the pen mark. Nice and gentle. And I think we will be flat enough there. Try the nut for fit. I'm not going to remove the tape just yet, but that nut is going to sit there. Absolutely beautiful. We can now, I think I can remove the tape. We'll get that nut glued on. I need to open a new pack of super glue. So looking pretty good there. A little bit of steel wool, just clean up this pen mark on there. We're not going to see it anyway, but let's get it off. Don't want to come off. Typical. There you go, we're all off there. Beautiful. So we are now ready to glue the nut onto the guitar. Just file these edges down slightly. The nut shelf now is, that's beautiful, it's flat, that's fantastic. I just want to put a spot of super glue. Then I'm going to just slightly sand the bottom. I'll do it with the file actually. There you go, just to make it nice and flat on the bottom there. If there's any glue in this pot. There may be a drop. Yep. Far too much on that far side, but I will take a cloth and remove that. Didn't want that much there. There you go. And there you go, there is the new nut installed. Beautiful, job done. So, strings are on, intonation is set. I've not set the action yet, but I'm going to cut the nut first. And I've been through with a feeler gauge, and I would like to be around about 0.4mm from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string on these, which means just touching there. Bit of buzz. I like to come a little bit lower. So because I've got a 1046 set of files, I will be using a slightly bigger, or I'll be angling the file as I come in. And I know on this side I like to go 0.4, about 0.5, 0.4, 0.4, 0.3, 0.3, 0.25. But for sake of argument this time I'm going to go 0.3 at this end, 0.4 at this end, 0.3 at that end, which will give us low enough. Now we need to come down a fair bit on there and on there. Now the gauges we're working with are 11, 15 and, bear with me, 11, 15 and 19. So this one is 11 for instance. I will go with the 10 and I will slightly angle it. And that being a 10 there. And I just need to set this down a little, follow the line. And just slightly angle as I come round. Very, very slippery knot this. Self-lubricating craft tech. And I don't want to go too deep. I'll make sure it's sat in nice. And I'll know if I've cut in there, if it goes flat, and it has gone flat. C standard tuning on this guitar. Sounds good. Still not deep enough though. So, keep going. It's just a matter of, you don't want to be cutting too deep. I've done it before, done it too many times, gone too deep, thinking, oh, I need to really cut into this, and then you've knackered your nut. You go too deep on one slot, you've knackered the whole nut. You've got to take it off again, go and buy a new one, file a new one. There you go. That slot is cut. Now what I do is I go and take my welder's tool, which is a bunch of small files. I put on a key ring, just to, there you go, that's a gubbins we're looking at. You see that? Probably not in focus, maybe I need to drop back just a little on that. This is really bad focus, you're not going to get benefit. If that was out of focus, I do apologise. And this is my welder's tool here, and we go from, there you go, you get a better idea there. I'm going to find one that more or less matches the slot. I already know it's the second one. All I'm going to do is, these are like a little file on the end there. All I'm going to do is go into that slot and just make sure the edges are rounded. And that is beautiful. We'll take another measure. Should just be bringing out now. And that is the right height. You should do the same with the other 5 strings. I'm going to crack on, I'm going to get it done, and I'll come back with an update shortly. There we go, that's a knot all done. If I wanted to be picky, I could go in there, take all the strings off and file that nut down, but I'm not going to. I think that looks alright as it is, and it's not too deep. It looks pretty good, it looks very good. So all I need to do now is set up the action, or set up the, let me just check scale length. Set up, get the truss rod set up, get the relief set right. 25.5" scale on these. It also has a 20" radius, so it's virtually flat. We have just the right amount of relief in there. I could possibly reduce that just a nudger. So I shall do that right now. Quarter of a turn should do it. In fact, an 1/8 of a turn should do it. So I'm just going to check the relief again, give it a second or two. Don't do this thing, let it settle for half an hour or whatever. You don't need to. A couple of seconds is fine. Right, little, not enough relief in there. I'll just drop that back a 32th of a turn. I think if we went round about there, it would be pretty good with that. Seems pretty good to me. And I'm going to set the action at the 12th fret to around about 1.75 millimeters on my low E. That relief is really, really nice. Quite low, probably still less than I need. Just drop that back a touch because we are in a lower tuning. We are tuned to C standard. Can I get you on there? No, it's not having it. Might as well just left it where it was fine. Tuned to C standard, the strings are going to vibrate that little bit more. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. So check the tuning again. All I've got to do now is set the action. Right, I'm happy with the truss rod, I'm happy with the nut. I've already done the intonation on the bridge. I've not done the bridge radius yet, but we need a flat radius anyway, being a 20" radius, so that looks pretty much okay. All I've got to do now is set the action at the 12th fret. I'll aim for about 1.752 mil on the low E, and I'll aim for about 1.5 millimeters above the 12th fret on the high E, probably a little bit more, 1.5, maybe 1.6, 1.7, and that will be done. So I'll crack on with that. I'll come back when we're ready. And there we have the guitar all done. It is a PRS SE. It's a PRS Mark Holcomb SE, or whichever way you say it. Guitar is a beauty. Came in wanting a nut change and just to check over. Got the nut change. Gone with the Graphtec nut there. I will tell you the model nut, or the right nut, in a moment. Not as wide as the neck itself, and that's narrower, but everyone says it's a recommended one. The part number is PT-6643-00, black tusk nut, 6-string electric nut. Blah 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 blah. Love these, man-made substance, self-lubricating, great nuts. If you get one that just fits, you don't have to modify too much, even better. I've had to cut the slots in this a little bit lower, but that's gone pretty well. Guitar has had a complete setup, but it also needed a fret level. We're 11 frets, slightly out of whack. It has had a complete fret level. The frets look absolutely superb. I've also given it a complete setup. I've got the action at the low E on the 12th fret, 1.75mm, 1.6mm on the high E at the 12th fret. Really nice low action above the first fret, 0.4mm on the low 3, under 0.3, under 0.4 should I say there, and under 0.3 on the high 3 strings. Nuts is cut nice. I had to modify the shelf a little bit and level it all out because when I remove the old nut it removes some material. But the nut is in real nice. That's as close as I'm going to go with the guitar upside down because I don't want to drop it or damage it. Tuned in to C standard. I'm going to plug this in a moment. If you look behind me, probably, I don't know if you'll see them or not, you'll see an array of pedals on this table. And I have a Maxon distortion, Digitech hardwire overdrive, I have a Mojo overdrive, TC Electronics, I have a Maxon OD808, a Boss SD1 Super overdrive, I have a Nux drive core, which is an overdrive and a boost in one, and I have a Mosky BB preamp clone. And I'm going to be setting up these overdrives for Nathan to test because he's looking for an overdrive, and I've got a couple for sale. And I'm going to set up my Blackstar HT Studio 20 amp all valve. We're going to get it on, we're going to get a little bit of dirt out there, we're going to plug the guitar in, I'm going to have a play about with these pickups. I know these pickups, I've played them before, the Alpha and the Omega, my favourite passive pickups. I'd love a set of these myself, so I'm going to have fun with that, and I'm going to get into the crunch channel and I'm going to boost the crunch channel with an overdrive in front as a clean drive. Get the gain nice and low around about 9 o'clock, boost it with an overdrive. It's going to give us all the depth and grunt I need. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be also testing all my pedals. I've got other pedals to test as well. I've got a Klon, this is a Klon drive, but no, it's a Zen drive this side and a Timmy clone that side. So you've got a Zen drive going into a Timmy. I can use one or either, or both should I say. Looking forward to trying that as well, and I'm going to crack on. So for all intents and purposes, this project is finished. It's a PRS SE Mark Holcomb signature guitar. Absolutely beautiful. Strange one in that it's a PRS with a 25.5 inch scale and a 20-inch radius. Had a lovely fret level. I'm now going to go plug it in. I'm going to have some fun, and Nathan is going to come and collect this within, I don't know, say about an hour. Well, it's going to be around about 5:30 this afternoon, so we're going to get cracking. So that's it then. This one is done. It's been a great project. This one, really enjoyed working on it. Now I'm going to enjoy playing it. So until the next time, check out my website, fretfriend.co.uk. Go and check me on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. That's facebook.com/NG17. All my YouTube links are on there. Check my YouTube channel. I don't know the website address for that, so just go and check it on my Facebook page, won't you? So facebook.com/NG17. So until next time, boys and girls, it's been a good one this one, but until next time, be good to each other, and I will see you soon.